Before I could answer, Remy came around the corner, his face bearing a look of disapproval. He stooped over and helped me pick up the spilled objects. Yeah, I'm fine. I was mainly asking about the priceless artifacts you just dropped. Oh, these are all kind of rude. Sorry. Well, it doesn't look like anything is broken. That could have ended up much, much worse. What is all this stuff anyway? In preparation for your arrival, I wanted to study what knowledge we had on humans. And what did you learn? Not much. The human is a creature shrouded in mystery and legend, yet one we apparently share some history with. Sure, dragon, tell me I'm the mythological creature. As the story goes, we dragons once were a primitive and savage civilization, living in caves and whatnot. We fought other creatures and amongst each other for resources and territory. One day, however, a human arrived who performed many miracles and gave us the gifts of electricity and reason. Sounds like Jesus. We refer to this event as our awakening. What happened to them, and who were they anyway? They say it was a divine creature, a supernatural being that saved our species by making peace between our clans and uniting us, as our numbers were dwindling from our pointless conflicts. And when the deed was done, they ascended to the heavens from where they came, or turned into a dragon and lived among us, ruling with kindness and wisdom until their eventual passing, depending on who you ask. Whoops. And what do you make of the story? As unlikely as it sounds, there is evidence for sudden, unprecedented technological advancement in our timeline. We have artifacts from that time that couldn't have been built with the knowledge we had back then. I'm starting to think you have a theory. Indeed, I take it you are familiar with the way the portals through which you traveled here actually work. I'm probably just going to say this to impress him. Actually, I am. It's simple, really. There are spontaneous wormholes that pop into existence now and then, but their highly unstable nature means that they instantly collapse in on themselves. The machinery of the portal merely stabilizes the wormhole so that we may utilize it. We actually are just taking advantage of a naturally occurring phenomenon. Fascinating stuff. Long story short, my theory is that this legendary person, I thought it said Pokemon at first, stumbled upon one of these natural wormholes in the split second it existed, bringing them into our world. Being thrust into an unfamiliar world with no means to return to their own. Talk about being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Or just the right one, if you ask me. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here today. Oh, what I would give to know more about them. How do you know so much about the portal anyway? We found it a while ago, so I've had some time to study it. Not me personally, mind you, but I followed its developments with great interest. What else have you discovered about it? Not much, I'm afraid. We didn't want to take the risk of permanent damage, so we won't do anything rash until we completely understand the technology and can replicate it for ourselves. So far, the only thing it has done for us was locating your portal and connecting us to it. From the interface, it appears to have more functions, but we haven't been able to get any of them to work. We were not even sure what it was capable of when we initially turned it on. Only after some time of being active, it did it actually find your portal, and only then were we able to make the connection. Making that discovery must have been very exciting, especially when you made contact with us and started exchanging letters with us. Oh, you have no idea, especially when Reza arrived and it turned out to be a human, of all things. Some people still worship them, you know. You've mentioned that before. How does that work? Do you have some kind of organized religion based around it? Not exactly. It was more like an adoration on a personal level. I'd count myself amongst them if it wasn't for the fact that I consider myself to have a more reasonable approach to it than others. For example, there are those that believe that there is much more to your sudden appearance than there really is. I think they expect some sort of miracle from you, similar to what was ascribed to humans in the past. Maybe you should worship me. Well, I can tell you there's nothing supernatural about me. That's what I expected. Wow, kinda harsh. Either way, as a scholar, I'm looking forward to see everything your PDAs have to offer. I could show you sometime. I see. Well, don't worry about explaining them to me. I'm sure you have much more important things to do while you're here. It is just a question of time until one of them ends up with me anyway. Actually, the PDAs are one of the reasons I volunteered to come here. What do you mean? I know them pretty well, enough to explain how they work at least. Of course, that's far from the only reason. I just thought I'd be the kind of person who'd meet all of the requirements, and it turned out I was. I see. It was nice of you to volunteer when you must have known there would be considerable risks in coming here. You volunteered as well when you came to meet me, didn't you? I wouldn't think this kind of thing would fall under your jurisdiction regularly. That is true, but by the point, my interest in these matters shouldn't surprise you. I was more surprised that I arrived under cover of darkness to meet an ambassador, though I haven't seen much of you since. Initially, they wanted to have an official reception headed by myself, but in the end they changed their minds due to security concerns, as I told you back then. Suppose that's also why I'm being escorted by the police all the time. Yeah, that was supposed to be my job too, until someone from the police department objected and advocated for more security. Better be safe than sorry, I suppose. Let me guess, that someone was Maverick. How'd you know that? Just a hunch. At least I still got to meet you. Were you nervous when you did? Only the brave or the foolish wouldn't be. I consider myself neither. I have to admit it was too. I was speechless when I saw you, and that wasn't just out of teleportation. Yeah, let's go with this. To be fair, I would have been as well if we didn't already know about humans and Reza. There was a moment of silence between us, and our eyes met briefly when suddenly a loud call echoed through the building. Is it a mirror again? Yep. Remy. I better go see what this is about. Maybe it would be better if you didn't stay out in the open. At the end of the hallway you can find my office towards the right. Wait for me there. Alright. That's quite a nice office. So this is your office, Remy. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't want to look at this stuff. It seems kind of... I'll look in the mirror. It's just a mirror, nothing special about it. Cool. I was expecting some sort of insult to my own appearance or something. Just wait. Nothing happened. Wait some more. I don't want to rummage through his trash and stuff like that. Alright, this is long enough. Why would you want to drink his coffee? That just seems odd. It seems like something my mom would do. I guess I'll look at his notebook. Heavy paper, perfect binding. I can tell by the cover alone that this is not a cheap stuff. But the result of quality bookmaking. Alright, let's take a peek inside. Looks like unsorted notes. His handwriting is terrible. It's a bit rude. AME. No, can't make that out. Guess I'll look at his computer. I don't want to do that. I wonder if their computers are similar to ours. Let's see. At the press of a button, the screen came to life, accompanied by the whir of a machine. After a few seconds, the colorful images appeared on the screen. Have you come here to beg for mercy? No, we've come to stop you. Okay, this doesn't really have anything to do with the story, it seems. Oh? These are interesting character sprites. They're like inverted things. Actually, kind of like this one. Looks like a Remy but with a blue tie. That's interesting. Maybe these are like the scrapped character models, where they're like, oh yeah, we'll have Remy with a blue tie, but then they were like, nah, let's make him red in the final cut. Why is this like Reza? Why is Reza here? That doesn't make any sense. Why do we have like a game about Reza in the Dragon's world? Grr. Cosmic horror. This reminds me of some RPG that I played like way back when. Oh. It's not my computer, don't worry. What the? Hey, what are you doing? Silence. Oh no. Let me take a look. Why did you even touch the computer? I just wanted to see what was on it. Well, whatever you did, at least it seems to be okay. Oh no, my game. What's wrong? When you touched the computer, you saw a game running, right? Yeah, I played a little. I had it saved specifically at that moment to play it later, and now it's all gone. What do you mean it's all gone? So much preparation, so many hours spent grinding just to get there. I can't do all of that again. You wouldn't understand. Actually, I do. You do? Yeah, we used to have similar games where I come from. I see. Yeah, I'm a bit of a gamer myself. Well, at least my office is still standing. Speaking of which, what's with the bed? Looks like you live here. When I have to work late, it's just easy to stay here. Besides, I have the knowledge of the whole library at my fingertips and can use the resources and equipment as I please, like this computer. Don't you have one at home? No, we generally don't have this kind of technology in every household. Though it's not exactly a rare either, we just use it where we need it. Back home we used to have computers everywhere. Most of us even carried one on our wrist wherever we went. Is that so? Ding. Oh, that means the library will be closing pretty soon. If you want to do or ask anything in particular, now is the time. Oh. I'd like to know more about your human myths. Are you available? Can't really think of anything. You know what? I'm just gonna go for it, man. Are you available? What do you mean by that? You know, for a relationship. That is, if you're going to ask me like that, my answer is going to be no. Anyways, oh, that's sad. I don't like that. Can I go back? No, where's the autosave? I don't like that answer. I didn't expect it to be like that. 32, 34. This is the newest one. Yeah. There we go. Okay, thank God. Okay, I'd like to know more about your human myths. There's a lot we can get into, but I'm afraid we won't have enough time now. Maybe another day. Anyways, thanks for your help. If there's any way I can repay you, just let me know. Oh. This game really wants you to make it uncomfortable. How about you invite me to dinner sometime? That's fine with me. You got my number, so call me about it when you have the time. I will. Have a nice evening. You too. That's a much better ending than the other one. Cool. We parted amicably. Gee, I'm just gonna make the excuse of English is not my first language, so yeah. Would I see him again? I wasn't sure, but I kept his number just in case.